Did you wake up this morning and have your large cup of joe? Or are you one of the hundreds of Americans that stops at your local Speedway and gets the 32-ounce fountain drink to kickstart your day? Regardless of which you prefer, you've probably given in to the caffeine train at some point in the mornings to kickstart your day. Today, I want to inform you of what caffeine really is and how, in high doses, it can be harmful to your body. I often drink caffeine, but once I've had too much, I begin to feel sluggish. Caffeine is something that every one of us intakes, so why don't we explore what caffeine really is and how it can harm our bodies. Caffeine is a natural stimulant used to boost energy in your central nervous system in order to keep your body alert throughout the day. Caffeine is included in almost everything we intake, from medicines to our coffee to our soft drinks. And about the only way you can find something that doesn't have caffeine in it is to specifically get it with a caffeine-free label, which is offered now in a lot of products. Like, for example, lots of soft drinks offer caffeine-free options. But here are some examples from a study conducted at the Mayo Clinic of how much caffeine is contained in normal things that we might consume. For example, did you know that a 12-ounce can of Mountain Dew contains a minimum of 42 milligrams of caffeine? Or that the 8 ounces of coffee you brewed this morning for your typical cup contains a minimum of 90 milligrams of caffeine? And I know a lot of us might suffer from migraines or the typical headache, and we often medicate that. But did you know that when you're medicating that, if you take one tablet of Excedrin Extra Strength Migraine, you're dosing yourself with 65 milligrams of caffeine. It's quite astonishing. So, now that you have a general understanding of how much caffeine is in typical items, why don't we review how much caffeine is too much caffeine for the typical human? The typical adolescent, which is roughly a 13 to 17, 18-year-old person, should not exceed 100 milligrams of caffeine total in a 24-hour time period. And children under 13, especially young children, should not have caffeine on a regular basis at all. Maybe 2-3 times a week, but that's not even advisable. The Mayo Clinic also advises that adults should not exceed 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. Now that we know amounts that we shouldn't exceed, why don't we explore what can happen if we continue to exceed these amounts? Did you know that too much caffeine can have detrimental effects on your health and your functioning ability? A study showed that consuming over 500 milligrams of caffeine a day can lead to things such as insomnia, upset stomach, irritability, and increases in muscle tremors. It was also advised that pregnant women, if they take roughly 300 milligrams of caffeine in a daily limit, then their babies are born with lower birth weights, which in turn can lead to numerous health defects in the babies. Also, caffeine withdrawal is something that becomes increasingly popular whenever you become aware of how much caffeine you intake. With caffeine withdrawal, a lot of people suffer from headaches, fatigue, there's onsets of depression, you can have irritability and nausea, vomiting, and there's an incredible increase in concentration issues among people who are trying to quit caffeine, because the caffeine has led you to be alert and more focused on whatever you're supposed to be doing. These symptoms make me consider completely eliminating caffeine from my diet, but I feel like everyone should do their own research and inform yourselves further about what kind of detriment caffeine can have on your health. Today I informed you of the potential harmful side effects linked to caffeine intake. We examined what caffeine is, what some popular caffeinated products are, how much can be too much, and what some of the potential dangers are if you intake too much caffeine. Caffeine is wonderful for the occasional energy boost or just to get you going a little faster. But in high amounts, it's inadvisable by numerous medical professionals. So next time you reach for that bottle of soda or that energy drink or even the cup of coffee to quench your thirst, maybe we should try a bottle of water.